All right, here is gonna be the intro to spike. We're gonna cover spinning spike, which is the first thing that you should do to just get a feel for spike and understanding that we need to keep the hole on the bottom. So I'm gonna spin, get my string as tight as possible so it's not wiling around. And it's spinning right now. I don't know if you can tell. It's spinning, and I'm gonna pull straight up just like I was for the cups and move the Ken right under it and land it on the spike. This is gonna be more difficult than the cups because there's less surface area and it's a tight hole for the spike to go through. But we're just gonna keep doing this. Also bend your knees. I wasn't doing it much in the first examples, but we wanna bend our knees for these two and cushion it as well. And then once we get that down, that's probably the most simple form of the spike. Once we get down, we wanna practice the swing spike. So this is way more difficult than the spinning spike. And this is really important for other tricks. We have to get used to this tama rotating on this vertical axis. And we want to keep this hole on that vertical axis as much as possible. So getting used to that from the spinning spike and catching it on the spike from this is really helpful when we get to things like juggles, where I'm gonna spin the tama and it's gonna be on that vertical axis as well. Let me show you. So it was on that vertical axis. It was a little bit off, but ideally it's on a perfect vertical axis to where I could see the hole coming back around and I can catch it on the spike, just like a spinning spike would be. Just like that. So the more we practice this spinning spike, the better we'll get a feel for that. And another important trick that we need to learn is the straight pull-up spike, where it's dead, we're not spinning it at all, and we pull straight up and onto the spike. And this will help us get used to pulling up with the tom or with the hole on the bottom, and we don't want it to get off the bottom. Like, we want the hole to stay on the bottom the whole time when we do this dead pull up. This is going to be helpful for tricks as well, where we want to know exactly where the hole's at. We're going to learn more about tricks like that in the future, but now we just need to practice those spikes. So we have the dead pull up, just to go over it again. Dead pull up, the spinning spike, and the swing spike. Let me do that again. The swing spike. And then once we land it on the spike, we want to get used to just practicing an ender. So enders is after you land your trick, you just do a trick that's hard, that you can't really land, but the more you do it, after you land every trick, the better you're gonna get at it. So after you land these spikes, try to do, it's called an earth turn. So you see my string got tangled up. This is where things get annoying, and why your string matters when you're playing. So after you land it, you want to do an earth turn. You basically do a little flick, and it does that little 360. And you want to keep it on that axis as well, just so you can see the hole come back around. So after you land these tricks, I want you guys to just practice getting these. And then as you get more comfortable with these, you can go higher, which you have to do it slower or it'll rotate too many times. There. All right, so that's gonna be the intro to spike. And then we are gonna cover some more information. Let me check. In the next lecture, we are gonna be doing the intro to tama grip, which is basically we're gonna be going over tricks from this position. This is the grip. I forgot to go over this grip in the first semester, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna cover the full basics and go in depth on it in the next lecture. All right, see you then.